What are some of the examples of DCF investigations of an emergency 51B investigation in Massachusetts? For example, you could have sexual abuse where a child's been sexually abused, and obviously if the child's still living with the perpetrator, we want that child out of that situation like yesterday. That obviously is an emergency situation. We don't want continued involvement of a perpetrator of sexual abuse with a young child. Other cases regarding sexual abuse is where we have a sex offender who has been convicted, is a level 3 sex offender or whatever, living with children. Other examples may be where you've got a serious felon who has abused or neglected children in the past and has a history with DCF and is now living with the family when he's not supposed to be or she's not supposed to be. Other things may be where a child's been horrifically physically abused, ends up in a hospital. We don't want that child going back to the abuser. That would be an emergency situation. When it comes to neglect, the same thing could happen. If there's habitual neglect of a child, where the children are not being fed, the children are not being taken for medical appointments, or the children are not going to school, DCF investigators will bring a second investigator with them as a backup to help them with the asking of questions, to make sure they're safe, to make sure that what they hear and what they see is all written down correctly. There's also circumstances where there might be a dangerous situation. You don't know what you're going to have at that home. So DCF may at times have the assistance of the local, state, or federal law enforcement. It's not unusual for a police officer to accompany a 51B investigator where they know they're going to remove the children. And there may be a situation where the parents obviously are not going to be happy with this. And so that there's no violence or anybody getting hurt, whether it's the children, the parents, the social worker, or the police go and make sure that everything goes peacefully, without a hitch, without a problem, for the safety of all. So it's not unusual to see various people go with the social worker if they already know something's happened, such as medical people, or let's say a DCF investigative supervisor to help out with the situation. Again, it's all about safety, not only about the children, the parents, and those that go along with the DCF investigator.